Uh-oh, I'm in trouble here to see. All right, where in the heck are we headed now? This doesn't, like I said, I haven't flown this route before.
Ranger 159er, you are 500 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet, altimeter 29.902.
Yeah, it didn't like that.
Climb and maintain 4,000 feet, Ranger 159er.
Okay, something isn't right. Because I'm flying way out of range. That's not right. All right, I'm going to go back up where they're suggesting. I don't want to be in trouble. But I'm going to have to check on this because this isn't right. Where in the hell am I going? You know what I mean? Maybe I'm flying to Japan. Okay, I'm gonna flip around and see what's going on, because it says I'm on track here, but I'm not.
Ranger 159er, please expedite your climb 5,600 feet. Ranger 159er, please expedite your climb 5,600 feet. Ranger 159er, descend and maintain 4,000 feet. Descend and maintain 4,000 feet, Ranger 159er.
Well, something went wrong, and because I'm inexperienced, I didn't catch it. So if you notice in the map, my plane is where I'm at. The white line is where I'm supposed to be. And something went wrong in the flight plan, and I saw that I wasn't exactly on the plan, but I didn't realize that was a problem till I ended up way out in the ocean. So I'm flying back to try to hook up to that flight plan line. And if you remember, I said I wasn't going to cut anything out. I'm going to cut something out because I didn't intend this to be any longer than an hour, but it's going to be because of my inexperience.
Seattle Center, Dayer November 8974 Alpha flight level 340. Dayer November 8974 Alpha Seattle Center, continue as planned.
So I've flown from the ocean all the way across the peninsula, and I'm going to try to link back up with my flight plan, and we'll see how that goes.
Seattle Center, Cessna November 2116 Quebec 11,000 feet. Cessna November 2116 Quebec Seattle Center, altimeter 29.902, continue as
Okay, bank to the left. Come on. No, it's not doing it. Why is it not doing it? It's not linking back up.
Ranger 159er, you are 300 feet above your assigned altitude.
Get off my
Descend and
back.
Maintain 4,000 feet, altimeter 29er.9er2. Descend and maintain 4,000 feet, Ranger 159er. Seattle Center, generic November tree 588 Whiskey 5,900 feet. Generic November tree 588 Whiskey, Seattle Center, altimeter 29er.9er2, continue as planned.
Little change of plans. I'm not too much further than I was, but I'm going to land at this airport coming up here. And my flight plan got messed up somehow. And I'm going to reset a flight plan to Seattle. Try to salvage this trip.
Ranger 159er, please expedite your climb 4,000 feet.
Still wants me to climb 4,000 feet because it still thinks I'm on that flight plan. And the flight plan didn't work out. I'd never flown it before. I downloaded it from on suggestion, and it just something happened, didn't transfer right.
Seattle Center, Cessna November 756 Tree Yankee, 11,000 feet. Cessna November 756 Tree Yankee, Seattle Center, altimeter 29er.9er2, continue as planned. Cessna 16 Quebec, contact with the approach on 118.2. Good day. .2 Cessna 16 Quebec. Ranger 159er, please expedite your climb 7,000 feet.
I'm declaring an emergency.
Ranger 159er, please expedite your climb 7,000 feet.
I got to change the plans. The flight plan didn't work for me. It wasn't mine. I haven't flown it before. It was suggested to me, and I downloaded it. And I don't know if it didn't get set up right in the plane, but it's not working out. So what I'm going to do to kind of salvage this trip, as you see, I'm still on the peninsula, so I haven't flown very far. I'm going to land at this airport up here, and I'm going to try to salvage the flight plan. I'm going to dump that flight plan I had and just make a new one from here to Seattle. Now that Fairchild International doesn't look to me like it's lining up, but then I can't imagine there being two airports this close together. So it must be the one I'm going for. So all in all, this is a good experience. You know, you gotta make up things on the run if something goes wrong. Literally, that doesn't look right, because it looks like that airport is that way. But if I'm going to land at an airport, I want to land on that big one over there. It says it's an international airport. That doesn't really mean anything. Okay, I've got enough speed going to make it. You know, I don't want to get too high up, and I don't want to get going too fast. So I think I'll just kind of leisurely come in and not try to hop and skip across the runway. I guess it is lining up. It just doesn't look so like that on the map. Hey, we're close to Port Angeles.
Seattle Center, Dare Charlie. Golf Mike Golf, Quebec flight level 330. Dare Charlie. Golf Mike Golf, Quebec Seattle Center, continue to head what is planned.
I've taken a ferry from Port Angeles before over to Canada. That's back in the old days when you didn't actually need a passport to get over there.
Ranger 159er, please expedite your climb 7,000 feet.
No, I refuse. All right, let's put a couple flaps down. Boy, that brought my nose up. Took me off course a little bit. It's a long runway. I shouldn't have any problem. I'll just have to level off here at the last minute.
500.
Ranger 159er, please expedite your climb 7,000 feet.
No, leave me alone. Again, it wasn't the prettiest landing, but I'm gonna run out of runway here. We'll be fine. Pump the brakes a little bit. I screwed up at the last minute. I put throttle down. Why? I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna get off the side here, and I'm gonna set a new flight plan between here and Seattle. All right, we got a new route. Let's see if we can get this trip done here. I mean, I just want to salvage it. We got to see some pretty country, and we're gonna make it back. We didn't have any tragedy. I don't know what happened to that flight plan, but I'll take a look at it tomorrow and see what it was that. I mean, it was flown by other people, so something happened. I don't know what. Let's see. Let me get over here, and I'm gonna. Get the other end, fly out of here. I don't know why these cars are always driving on the runway and on the places where you need to be. And I don't know why. I heard somebody say that they were trying to fix it to where they're, you know, that it's nice that there's cars and stuff and equipment, things like that, but they're always kind of in your way. Let's see. I don't need that much runway. Let me go one more. Come on. Truck. See if I got enough runway from here. If everything went perfect, it wouldn't be an adventure, would it? Put one of the flaps back up. I had it down 2. I don't need 2 to take off. Okay, I'll get up away from the airport and then I'll try the autopilot. See if we can get home. Well, Seattle's not home, but it's close enough. It's within flying distance, so. All right, we got our altitude set at 4,000, so let me see if I can get going here. Okay, that's not right. All right, didn't want to take the flight plan. Let's get a little bit straighter. Try again. It's kind of funny. Sometimes when you set a flight plan and you take off, if you try to put the autopilot on too soon, it doesn't really take it. Let's try again and see if it likes it this time. Might be okay. Let's see.
Cessna 511, you are leaving my airspace. Resume on navigation. Contact would be approach on 120.7. Good day.
All right, let's see if we can get this thing up in the air.
Going to 120.7 Cessna 511.
I was kind of wondering about that flight plan to begin with because it started off magenta like it is now, and that's supposed to be what you see. Now there were some white lines in it. The white lines are usually if you set a flight plan from point A to point B, and then to point C, and then D. In the first leg, it's magenta. man, that guy from the south or what? So it's pink for the first leg until you get to the first point, and it's white from then on. So when you reach that first point, then the white goes away and becomes pink, and it's white beyond that. So if you have, like, say, 5 legs to go, one of them is pink, the other 4 are white. When you get to the second leg, it turns pink, and the other 3 are still white. So that's what threw me. I couldn't figure out why that whole trip was white. Something was wrong, and I just didn't know what it was. Lack of experience. Like I said, I'm going to have to figure some things out. But, hey, we're going to salvage it. We're going to continue on.
Cessna 37 Zulu, contact Seattle, approach on 120.1.
We still got some pretty scenery to see. Every state has beauty.
120.1 for Cessna 37 Zulu.
Washington and Oregon have a lot of beauty. There's a lot of beauty. Now, I'm biased. I grew up in the Northwest.
Approach Cessna November 41511.
I wouldn't give you 2 hoots to live in California. I wouldn't give you 2 hoots to live in New York or Chicago or any of those big cities. Even Seattle is too big for me. And I can imagine that people were raised in Los Angeles would think that living in one of these podunk towns would be like akin to being in prison for the rest of your life. It's just perspective. I remember the first time I drove down from the Grapevine into California, into Los Angeles, and I don't have asthma, I don't have respiratory problems per se, but when I came down that mountain and came into the freeway of LA, I literally could not breathe. The smog was so bad. And the people living there, they don't notice it. They just think that it makes the sunsets beautiful. And it does. It's smog that makes those sunsets so beautiful that they're bragging about all the time. Oh my God, you haven't seen a sunset till you've been in Los Angeles. Well, that's true, because that's where the smog is, and that's what makes it. All right, we're at our 4,000 feet. Like, I think they still want me there, so I'll stay there. Let's see what we're looking like now. We're pretty close. So we almost made it, literally. We were right here when I realized I had, well, we weren't actually, because we came from here to here, and I ended up halfway out in the ocean before I figured out I better do something. And I came back to here to try to catch up with that plan, but it wouldn't latch onto that plan. So I deleted it, landed, set a new plan between that airport and SeaTac, and that's where we're going. So there you go. We're almost home. We're almost there. We've seen some pretty country, and there wasn't any tragedy. So, and like I said, I'm kind of happy, because you need to have things go wrong so that you know how to handle them. And all we really did was get a little bit off course. Now, that reminds me, I can't tell you how many vacations I've been on. Oh, I got my flaps down. Let me put those up. I can't tell you how many vacations I've been on where I don't like to stop and ask for directions. And it really torques my wife off. And I keep pointing out after the years that by getting lost, we found some very special places that we never knew existed. And we would have never found them had I not gotten lost. I might want to come up a little bit. Let's raise up. We're going to do a altimeter, and we're going to go up to, say, 6,000. And let's do some vertical up here. And get over these mountains. So yeah, even in the game here, we saw some places that maybe we wouldn't have seen. We flew over Forks, and I looked at that plan, and it didn't call for me to be there. So I got to see Forks. I've never been there. I've seen it on TV or on the movies. I think my next step in my pilot career is to pick up one of those caravans. And I can't recall how many it seats. It seats anywhere between 8 and 12 people. I'm going to have to count the seats, I guess. I just glanced at it today. I haven't actually flown anywhere. What I did was I checked out all the equipment to make sure I knew how to use it.
Would-be approach Cessna November 4602 500 feet.
And
Cessna November 4602 would-be approach altimeter 29
I
decimal 9.
lifted off the I lifted off the runway. All I did was lift off the runway. I flew around the airport and came back down, and it handled wonderful. So I think I can be okay in it. But I think I want to try. And instead of cargo, doing some people, flying some people around. I wish you could actually see the people in the plane, but you can't for some reason. Well, we made it over this mountain. I don't know if we can make it over the next one. We'll see. I'm at my 6,000 feet. I might have to climb just a little bit higher before I get there. Maybe I better do it now so I got time to get up. All right, so we're going to raise the altitude up to 8,000. Kick this thing up a little bit. Get the climbing out of the way. And again, look at all the land that nobody lives on. I mean, literally. And the government owns most of it. Very few forests in the United States are owned by private business. It's mostly government land. So it's a big country, but it's only about 50% habitated. Ah, look at that. Now, wouldn't you think that that river would be down a little bit lower? That's kind of weird. Look, it goes up around that mountain. I'm assuming that's a river. It looks like one. I don't know what this is unless it's a road. Maybe that's what... No, that's a river right there. Isn't that amazing? That looks like a road. Where would it go? I mean, we're getting high enough to run into some snow here. Yeah, and I was a little worried about that. My 1 hour trip, I might have to break this up into 2 videos. My 1 hour trip kind of got out of hand. A couple of little patches of snow up here. There actually, if this was real weather, which it's not, there would be a lot more snow because we're still in winter. And it's only January. These mountains would be full of snow. But until I get better, I'm kind of staying away from the real weather. And because it was a sight tour, I didn't want any clouds to fly through, so I made it clear skies. Yeah, I'm anxious to check out that flight plan and see where it went wrong. I mean, it's funny because it didn't look right to me to begin with because of so much of the white. It didn't look like it, you know, maybe I was flying it wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have been flying it as a GPS route. I'll have to check. I need to cut my engine back a little bit. All right, I can start coming down now. Let's drop it back down to 6,000. Whoa. That's too far. I don't want to come down that fast. You know, when I flew that Caravan, like I said, I didn't fly it much. I took off from the airport and just climbed. Well, actually, I didn't. It climbed itself. The thing took off like a bat out of hell. And it just shot up to 4,000 or 5,000 feet. I circled the airport and came back down. And man, it came down like a rocket, but it seemed perfectly fine. And I was surprised. I was able to climb at a very low airspeed. I was flying about 70 to 80 and I was climbing. Let's see, where are we? Kimshin Ranch. There's so many of those little bitty airports where farmers or ranchers or just normal people have a little airline. And sometimes it's just a little grass strip of cleared land, and sometimes it's dirt, and sometimes it's actually, not paved. It would be tarmac. But yeah, it's amazing how many are out here. I can show you. Let's see here. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Let me see. All right, this is a program that I use to do some of the flight plans and things like that. But if you look at that, these are all little airports. I mean, they're just dotted all over the place. And there's more and more of them. If you go down into the map, you'll see private landing here and private landing there. They're just all over the place. Just littered. The map is littered with them. Pretty amazing. Lawson Air Park. There's people that have little lighter than air landing strips and glider strips, and there's Forks where we were, right there. Quileute. There's Quileute. I've been there many times. Well, not many times, but quite a few times. U.S. Coast Guard, Nia Bay. That's out in the middle of nowhere, I tell you what. So our route took me across here, and then we came over, let's see, we came in right about here, and then I flew over, and then I flew way out in the ocean before I decided something's wrong. And that was my fault. That was a real rookie error. I should have noticed that I wasn't on those white line routes way back over here in Canada. I was having so much fun just flying around and looking at the scenery. I didn't pay attention to it. So I came back over this, and I got to it right around in here. I flew right over Forks. I flew over Forks, got right about here before I decided that I better land. And that's what I did. We were up here. I couldn't link back up to that route, so I decided to delete it and land. And there we are. All right, how we doing? All right, we're getting close. Let's go over this waterway here. We'll be there. So we can come down again. Let's drop down a little bit further. Where are we at? 6,000? Oh yeah, let's come way down. We're gonna come down to we'll start with 35,000. Apex Air Park. Now see, the air park, that sounds like very small planes. Naval base at Kitsap. Some people say Kitsap, some people say Kitsap. There's another base, Bangor. I've heard of that one. Yeah, a lot of these places, like Scappoose, they're Native American named places. Chinook, that was a little town named by the Chinook tribe.
Seattle approach Cessna November 9er 563710,900 feet.
Got a Cessna flying at 10,000 feet?
Seattle approach altimeter 29er.9er2 continue as planned.
Silverdale, I've heard of that. I don't think I've been there.
Cessna 637 contact Seattle approach on 126.5.
There's another air park. Washington, they're known as the Evergreen State. You can see how many mountains are full of trees. It's certainly green. The Seattle area is kind of considered a little bit of a rainforest. It rains quite a little bit. As well as Portland. We get quite a bit of rain in Portland. On the coast, it's natural to have rain. Brownsville. A lot of little towns out here. I don't know what that is, that complex. Wow. Looks like they got their own water reserve there or something. That's absolutely too round. to not be man-made. But you never know. I've seen stranger things. Gilberton. Tracyton. Chico. That sounds like California. Look at all the little houses and buildings that, wow. It's almost like these are suburbs, but what are they suburbs of? I mean, if you look at that, that's a pretty good sized little area. I mean, look at all the houses. I don't know if this is all considered one area, but that's a lot of houses there. Kind of makes you wonder what people do for a living, doesn't it? Huh. There's a big green patch. Is that a farm? Right in the middle of all these city slickers? It looks like it might be. It's got a big barn area. Maybe it's a horse ranch. That'd make more sense with all those people. Crystal Springs. Entia. East Bremerton. Okay, I know where we're at now. Bremerton. Linwood Center. Yeah. I've been to Linwood. Fletcher Bay.
Seattle approach generic November 4227 Whiskey. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace. Generic November 4227 Whiskey Seattle approach. Cleared through the Bravo airspace.
I tell you what, there's a lot of opportunity for water sports here, I would guess. There's a lot of sailing boats and stuff in Seattle area. There's a lot of waterways to put a boat. There's an airport over there. Vaughn Ranch Airfield. So it's another ranch with its own airfield. And how close are we? Pretty close. We're on the other side here of this waterway. Vashon. So that must be Vashon Island there. That was Vashon Airport. Municipal Airport there. Now, if I'm looking at this map right, it looks like my runway is this way here. So, and there looks like there's several other landing strips. I might go to the left a little bit and do a swing to the right. So, I'll wait just a second here. I get a little bit closer. Get a little bit closer now. Boeing, King Company, International. So that's got to be the airport, I'm guessing. So I might want to go out here a little bit and swing into it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the autopilot off. And we'll just actually come down a little bit. I don't want to be this high. So we'll swing a little bit to the left. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of an issue. If you remember, I was having an issue with the rudder pedals. Getting used to those. I've not used rudder pedals before, and steering with my feet was foreign to me. I've switched HOTUSes, and it's helped me out a little bit. This one is not quite so sensitive, and it's a little easier for me to handle. The other thing is, I have very small hands, and that Thrustmaster is a very large flight stick, very large, and it's very stiff. And I have trouble with it because it's actually too big for my hand. This one's just about the right size for my hands, and it's a lot looser. It's not as tight as the... it took a lot of effort to move that other flight stick, and I wasn't used to the pedals. Now I love it for flying in space with my ships in space, but it was a little bit hard to use for air flight. Now the only difference is now my rudder system is in the flight stick. I twist it to the right and left, and that moves my rudder. See, but as I'm a little bit tense because I'm not very good at flying, I grip the handle too much. And when I do, when I'm turning like this, sometimes I find myself twisting it, which moves the rudder, and now I'm making, moves that maybe I don't want to make. All right, I don't know where in the hell I'm at, but I think that's the airport there. So I'm gonna keep on. Oh, there we go. Now the lights are up. So let me cut the engine a little bit. Cut the speed. Choose a runway. I haven't been assigned a runway, so I'm going to do this on the fly, right or wrong. Let me throw a couple of flaps down. Slow me down a little bit. Oh, and get rid of that damn map. Whoa, see what I mean? I twisted the grip. I need to learn not to hold the grip so tight. I'm going to take the right one, no particular reason. Oh, there's another one way to the right I could have taken. SeaTac, which is short for Seattle Tacoma. All right, let's see if I can get this thing. See, I just can't seem to get it lined up straight. I'm either to the right or to the left. Plus, it's almost like, you're well, I got to remember that I'm not sitting in the middle of the plane. I'm sitting on the left-hand side. So I'm going to have to kick this in the ass a little bit. I'm running out of, I don't want to stall before I get there. Oh, geez. What is that? I think I'm a little too low. Oh, this isn't good. If I come in slow enough, I should be okay. This is not pretty. Not in the least. But I think I might be okay. At least I didn't bounce. See, that going back and forth is me not used to the rudder. I'm gripping the thing too tight because my pinky, there's a trigger on my pinky that is the brakes. Because I don't have my rudder pedals, I don't have my brakes on my feet. So, anyway, we made it down. It wasn't half bad. Wasn't. What does that mean? Was it half good? It wasn't bad. I came in way too low, and I wasn't. My speed wasn't high enough. Other than that, so it's a lesser of two evils. Coming in too slow and too low. At least I had a gentler time coming in. When I'm coming in too high and too fast, that's when I end up bouncing. So both of them are wrong. But one of them just seems a little better, if that makes sense. It seemed better to come in slow and light and soft rather than coming in hard and fast and bouncing for 1,500 feet. Gotta cross this runway real quick. Sit up where I can see the front of the plane. All right, let's see. I don't want to go over with those big planes. I'll go over here. The big airline planes are... Uh-oh. I screwed up. I should have went that way. I can at least get off the runway. Kind of, sort of. I'm doing everything wrong. But what the heck? I'm alive. I had a safe trip. It was kind of fun. It was more of an adventure to have things go wrong than if I was just doing autopilot the whole way. Oh, there's a big Neo. I can fly that one. Well, actually, I can't. I can fly it, but I might not be able to fly it. Park in the parking lot with all the other tourists. I'm going to park right here. I don't care. All right. Well, that was an adventure. I don't think it's going to be a one-parter, though. I think I'm going to split this up. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Hope you weren't too bored. It was exciting for me, and that's all that counts. Anyway, I'll see you on the next trip. Ta-ta for now.